Tokens are the building blocks that AI uses to understand language. Think of them as the smallest meaningful chunks of text that an AI model can process. They're not quite words, but they're not individual letters either. They're somewhere in between, and understanding what they are is essential to understanding how AI actually works. A word token is probably the simplest type. When you type a sentence into ChatGPT, the AI breaks it down into tokens, and many of those tokens are just regular words. The word hello becomes one token. The word world becomes another. But here's where it gets interesting. Not every word is one token. Longer or less common words might get split up. A subword token is what happens when a word is too long or unusual to be a single token on its own. Let's say you type unbelievable. That word might get split into smaller pieces, unbelieve and able. Each piece is its own token. This is actually clever design. Instead of having thousands of rare words in the model's vocabulary, you can break them into smaller, more common pieces that the AI already understands. So even if the model has never seen unbelievable before, it can still process it. A character token is rarer, but sometimes an AI has to break words down into individual characters. This happens with typos, made-up words, or symbols that don't fit neatly into the model's vocabulary. If you write QWERTY, something the model doesn't recognize as a standard word, it might break it into individual character tokens, Q, W, E, R, T, Y. It's the AI's way of saying, I don't know this word, so I'll process it letter by letter. A punctuation token is exactly what it sounds like. Every period, comma, question mark, and exclamation point is its own token. They're treated separately because punctuation carries meaning. A question mark tells the AI that a question is being asked. A period signals the end of a thought, so the model needs to understand them as distinct units. A whitespace token is a token that represents spaces between words. You might think spaces don't matter, but they do. The AI needs to know where word boundaries are, so sometimes spaces get their own tokens. This is why hello world and hello world are processed differently by the model. A special token is a reserved token that does something specific. It doesn't represent actual text you've written. Instead, it's a signal to the model about the structure of your conversation. For example, there's often a start of sequence token that tells the AI, okay, this is the beginning of input. There's an end of sequence token. There might be a padding token to fill empty space, or a separator token to mark where one piece of text ends and another begins. These special tokens are invisible to you, but they're crucial for how the model understands the input. A positional token doesn't represent text at all. It represents location. The model needs to know not just what tokens are in your message, but in what order they appear. So it assigns tokens based on position: first token, second token, third token, and so on. This helps the model understand the structure and flow of your sentence. An embedding token is what happens after the AI converts your text into tokens. It's not a token made of text anymore. It's a token converted into numbers. Think of it as a translation. Your text tokens get converted into long lists of numbers called embeddings. These numbers encode the meaning of the token. So the token happy becomes something like a list of 768 numbers that somehow represent the concept of happiness in a way the AI understands mathematically. Different models use different embedding sizes, but the concept is the same. It's the AI's internal language. A context token is a token that's part of your conversation history. When you chat with an AI, it doesn't just look at your latest message. It looks at everything you've said before, plus everything the AI has said back. All of that gets tokenized. Your entire conversation history becomes tokens that the AI uses for context. This is why longer conversations can become slower or hit limits. You're essentially asking the AI to process more and more tokens. Understanding tokens matters because it explains why AI has limits. Every model has a maximum number of tokens it can process at once.
ChatGPT can handle around 4,000 tokens in most versions, which sounds like a lot until you realize that 4,000 tokens is roughly equivalent to 3,000 words. So if you paste in a 10,000-word document, the AI can't see all of it at once. It'll only process the first part. This is called the context window, and it's a hard limit based on how the model was built. Tokens also explain why AI pricing works the way it does. When you use an AI service, you're usually charged per token. ChatGPT's API charges you for the tokens you input and the tokens the AI generates. So a long conversation costs more than a short one because more tokens are being processed. Understanding this helps you understand why some interactions feel expensive and others feel cheap.